Hi friends, I am Ranu Jain and I am back with basics of algebra. In my last video, if you remember, I covered very basic of algebra wherein we covered constants, variables and algebraic expressions. In today's session also I am going to cover few terminologies that are related to algebra. Before that, let's revise what we had done in our last video. We learned this constants, variables and algebraic expressions through some pattern. I am going to take the same pattern again so you can recall it again. Let's take an example of triangle. Now to create one triangle, I need 3 straight lines. Similarly, to create 2 triangles, I need 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I need total 6 straight lines. Similarly, to create 3 triangles, I need 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is equal to 9 straight lines. Now, what we have seen here, that there is some pattern that is getting formed. This I can write as 3 into 1, that is 3 straight lines for one triangle. Similarly, 3 straight lines for 2 triangles. So 3 into 2 is 6. Now here 3 into 3. 3 straight lines into 3 triangles. So I need total 9 straight lines. So what we have created a pattern here is wherein we can say that to create n triangles, to create n number of triangles, I need 3 into n straight lines. That means the rule formed here is 3n. Now this 3 is constant and this n is a variable. I can use this pattern or this rule to find out any number of straight lines to create any number of triangles. Which means if I want to create, for example, 15 triangles. So simply, how many straight lines I need? This is equal to 3 multiplied by 15. What's the answer here? This is 45 straight lines. I need total 45 straight lines to form 15 triangles. So this is what we had covered in our last session. Now I am going to take one more example, one more pattern, and you are going to answer me for that pattern. Let me take an example of square boxes. This is a pattern. In one row, I have 2 square boxes. In 2 rows, 1 and 2 rows, I have 2 square boxes plus 2 square boxes. That is equal to 4 square boxes. Similarly, here I have 3 rows. In each row I have 2 boxes. So this is 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is equal to 6 square boxes. What kind of rule is getting formed here? Again, there is only one row. In each row there are 2 square boxes. I can write it as 2 into 1. Here there are 2 square boxes, two rows, and total there are 4 square boxes. The rule that I can write is 2 square boxes in each row multiplied by number of rows. Similarly here the rule is 2 square boxes for each row multiplied by the number of rows. So now, can you tell me how many square boxes will be formed for n number of rows? For your knowledge, I am going to write the answer here. In n number of rows, there will be 2 multiplied by n, which is equal to 2n square boxes. You can try to put any value to this n. Let's put n as 10. That means we have total 10 rows. So, in 10 rows, there will be total 2 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 20 square boxes. I hope this pattern is clear to you. In case of any queries or any doubts, you're always welcome to put your questions in the comment box. I will definitely try to answer each and every question of yours. Okay. Now we have seen two patterns. One for the number of straight lines required to create n number of triangles. That was 3 multiplied by n. The other pattern we saw was how many squares will be required in n number of rows if in each row there are 2 square boxes. So the rule that we formed here is 2 multiplied by n, where n is the number of rows. So now here in this 3 is a constant and n is a variable. In this 2 is a constant and n is a variable. Now one more thing that you might be asking is why we are using this n. So for your knowledge, I can use any alphabet in place of n. I can represent this as 3x. I can represent this as 2y. I can use any variable, any alphabet of my choice. So there is no such rule wherein you can only use x, y, z or n or m. You can use any variable, any alphabet of your choice in place of the variable. Now, what is this 3n and what is this 2n called? Since in these expressions we have a variable, we call these as algebraic expressions. So these are the algebraic expressions. Let's take some statements and we will try to express them in algebraic expressions. For example, let's take an example of my brother is 2 years elder to me. My brother is 2 years elder to me. What can be the variable in this case? In this case, let's assume that my age, that means this me, the age of this boy or girl is suppose x. So what will be the age of his brother? Can I write the age of brother as x plus 2? Because the brother is 2 years elder to this particular boy. So if I assume the age of the boy is x, I can write that the age of brother's age is equal to x plus 2. Now what is this x plus 2? Because it contains a variable, I don't know what is the age of this boy. So this has an unknown quantity. Although this 2 is a constant, but this complete term, this complete polynomial is having a variable. Hence, I call this particular expression as an algebraic expression. Similarly, let's take an example of orange and mango. I say that the rate of mango, say for example per kg is 10 rupees more than that of orange. Rate of mangoes per kg is 10 rupees more than that of orange. Now can you tell me what can be the algebraic expression for this particular statement? We will assume that the rate of orange is equal to, you can take any alphabet. Let me take O as the alphabet here to represent the oranges. Rate of oranges per kg is equal to O. Or maybe because O will look like 0, let me take something else. Let me represent it as R. The rate of oranges per kg is R. So the rate of mangoes will be equal to R plus 10, because the rate of mangoes per kg is 10 rupees more than that of orange. So now again, this particular expression is called as algebraic expression. I hope this is clear to you. In case of any queries in understanding the algebraic expressions, please put down in the comment box. I'll try to reply to each and every comment that you put. Okay. Now let's just quickly see again few more examples of algebraic expressions. Here it is 5 added to x. How do we write it? It's very simple. 5 added to x. So that means x plus 5. Similarly, 5 subtracted from x. I can simply write it as x minus 5. I am subtracting 5 from x. So subtracting 5 from x. 5 minus x will be wrong. So always be careful and read carefully what is the statement given. It is 5 subtracted from x. So the correct expression is x minus 5. Now x multiplied by 5, this will be equal to x multiplied by 5. I can simply write the constant at the first place. So I'll write as 5x. X divided by 5. So this is x divided by 5. So this is how we can simply express them in algebraic expressions. We have seen addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now I have taken one more example here specifically to see how the negatives can be incorporated here. I say here x multiplied by minus 10. So how do I write it? X multiplied by minus 10. I can simply write it as minus 10x. In integers, you would have already covered these signs, how the operators work on signs, plus and minus. So this is plus, this is minus. Plus into minus is minus. And this constant is here and this x is here. So this is the simplified way of writing the algebraic expressions. So these are the examples. Now I am giving you 2 examples which you have to do it by yourself. DIY. Do it yourself. Please write the answers in the comment box. I will reply if these are correct or wrong. The first one is 20 added to double of a number. 20 added to double of a number. The second is 30 subtracted from my father's age. Now we have to identify what is the variable and then you have to accordingly express that. You have to form the algebraic expression for these two. Please put them in the comment box. I'll check and I'll reply to your answer. So now so far we have always looked into one variable, either n or x or y or something like that. Now let's try to understand some expressions with two or more variables. So just let's take an example of, again, total of cost of 3 oranges and 4 mangoes. How do I express this into algebraic expressions? Now if you read it carefully, you will see that there is no relation between the cost of these two. I cannot create any kind of relation here. And if you read it carefully, now we can see here that we don't know the cost of these oranges, we don't know the cost of mangoes. So I will write it as assume. Let's assume cost of one orange is equal to, suppose, X. Cost of one mango is equal to Y. I don't know the cost of any of these two. And of course it cannot be same. So if I take this as X, obviously I cannot take this as X because the value of these two might be different. So I have to take another variable here. It can be anything of your choice, any alphabet of your choice. But this is for sure that this value may not be equal to this. So I cannot put the value of mango as X. It might be same, but there is a possibility that it may differ. Now because we don't know whether the value of these two is same or different, I have to assume that there is some other value to this mango. So I am assuming cost of one orange is X, cost of one mango is Y. Now the expression that we want to form is total of cost of 3 oranges and 4 mangoes. Now if the cost of one orange is X, then cost of 3 oranges will be equal to 3 into X. Similarly, if the cost of one mango is equal to Y, then the cost of 4 mangoes will be equal to 4Y. Now I have to find the total of cost of this. So that means the total of this and this. The algebraic expression will be 3x plus 4y. This particular expression is representing the total of cost of 3 oranges and 4 mangoes. Now, for example, you come to know the value of one orange and one mango. You can simply use this and find the total cost. So let's take an example that the cost of one orange is equal to 5 rupees and cost of one mango is equal to, for example, 10 rupees. I will simply replace this X with 5 because X is the assumed value of one orange. Now I know the value of cost of one orange, so I can simply replace this X with 5. That means 3 multiplied by 5 plus cost of one mango is 10 rupees and we assume that the cost of one mango is Y. So in place of Y, I will write 10. So that means 3 multiplied by 5 plus 4 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 15 plus 40, which is equal to 55 rupees. So if I come to know the price of orange and mango, If a person buys 3 oranges and 4 mangoes, then the total cost he has to bear is 55 rupees for that. So this is the expression with two variables. We had x and y as two variables in these expressions. So there can be many more variables in any expression. So now we have covered expressions with one variable, expressions with two variables. So now again I am giving you one kind of homework. You have to do it yourself. Call it DIY, do it yourself. This is the question with two variables. Now you have to write down the algebraic expression for this particular statement. The statement says sum of my age and the double of my sister's age. This you have to represent in the algebraic expression. Please write down your answer in the comment box. I'll reply if it is correct or wrong. If it is wrong, I'll tell you what is the correct answer. Okay. So now, so far, what we have tried to understand is what is a constant, what is a variable, and what is an algebraic expression. So in short, if you see, if you would have seen our examples previously, then you would see that an algebraic expression is nothing but a combination of variables, constants, operators, some numbers, and so on. Now we will try to understand few more terminologies related to algebra, which is very important for your syllabus, for your examinations, and for your understanding as well. So you should always remember these terminologies. So this is going to create a base for you. Now we have seen previously the example of 3 or in the total cost of 3 oranges and 4 mangoes. And how did we write that? We write that as 3x plus 4y, where x is the assumed cost of one orange and y is the assumed cost of one mango. Okay. Now if you see, what is this complete expression called? We are calling it as algebraic expression. That is fine. This complete is an algebraic expression. But what is that specific term that we use to denote this? We call it as a polynomial. In general, it's a polynomial. Initially, when we have seen the patterns, we saw the example of number of straight lines required to form n number of triangles. The algebraic expression was 3 multiplied by n. This is also a polynomial. Now, if you see the difference between this and this is having one term, this is having two terms. Please listen carefully. What I am going to explain here is, I am using the word term. A term is each item in the polynomial separated by plus or minus. For example, in this particular algebraic expression, this is only one term. I do not have any plus or minus in this particular expression. So, this is just a product, 3 multiplied by n, that I am indicating as 3n. It is not having any addition or subtraction, no separated terms. This particular algebraic expression is having only one term. Similarly, in this particular expression, there is an addition sign here in between. So, each of this expression is called as term. In this complete algebraic expression, how many terms are there? There are two terms. Term is each individual expression in a polynomial separated by plus or minus. If I say x minus 1, this particular expression is also having two terms. One is this, one is this. This is not having any variable, but still it is acting as a term in this complete expression. So x minus 1 is also having two terms. Now moving on, I hope this meaning of term in algebra is clear to you. As I said here, this complete expression is called a polynomial. In algebra, we call these expressions as polynomial. If there is only one term, in a polynomial, then we call it as monomial. Mono means one. If there is only one term, then it's a monomial. If there are two terms, 3n plus 2, we call it as binomial. Bi means 2. Mono means 1. For one term, we call it monomial. If the expression is having two terms, then we call it as binomial. Similarly, if the expression is having three terms, then we call it as trinomial. If there are more than three terms, we call it as multinomial. If in an algebraic expression there are more than three terms, then we call it as multinomial. Now, if we have to define what is a polynomial, then we can simply say that an algebraic expression with finite terms. That means it is not endless. It is not going on and on and on. Here I have three terms. Finite number of terms, defined number of terms. So if I have finite number of terms in any algebraic expression, then that particular expression is called as polynomial. I hope this is clear. In case of any questions, again, as I said, please put your questions in the comment box. So now, so far, we have covered constants, variables, algebraic expressions, and we have try to understand some terms, polynomials. Within that, what are the terms, what are monomials, what are binomials, trinomials, and so on. Now we are going to see how does the product and factors work in algebra. So product, in a normal sense also, if I say 2 multiplied by 3, it's a product of 2 and 3. The answer comes out to be 6. Because these two are constant, so I know I can solve this particular expression, numeric expression, and I can get the final answer. I can evaluate this numeric expression. But how does it work in algebra? That's what we are going to try to understand. Now let's take an example of this 4ab. 4ab. I can write it as 4 multiplied by a multiplied by b. This is nothing but the product of 4a and b, where a and b are variables and 4 is a constant. Now if you see in this complete expression, as I said, this is a constant. This we can call as literals or variables. Now if I want to understand the factors of any algebraic expression, factors of any term in algebraic expression, again in this example only we will try to understand. Let's first see what are the factors of this. This is a numeric expression and this is an algebraic expression. I hope you understand the difference between numeric expression and the algebraic expression. This you have already done in your previous classes. So this is a numeric expression. If you see, the factor of this complete expression is, what are the factors? There are two factors here. One is 2 and one is 3. These two are the factors of this expression or this. 2 is a factor of 6, 3 is a factor of 6. Now similarly, if you see here, for this complete term, what are the factors? 4 is a factor of this term, A is a factor of this term, and B is a factor of this term. I can also say 4a is also one of the factors of this term. 4a or 4b or ab. All of these are the factors of this complete term. Let's take one more example and try to see what are the factors of that term. Now I am going to take example with some exponents as well. For example, I take again 3a square b. Now what are the factors here? I can write it as 3 multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied by b. So each of these is a factor of this complete term. How many factors I can write here? 3a b. I can also write 3a, or let's first write a square. This is also a factor of this complete term. This. Then 3ab, then 3b, then ab, then a square b. Have I missed anything? You can just see if I have missed anything and add more. So these are all the factors of this complete term. Now by taking these two examples only, we will try to understand what is a coefficient. A factor of a term is called as the coefficient of the other factors. Each factor of a term is called as the coefficient of other factors. So, for example, if I take this factor, then this 3 is a coefficient to the other factors. That means 3 is a coefficient of a square b. Similarly, if I take a, only a, then a is a coefficient of 3ab. Here I have taken only a, not a square. So this a is a coefficient of 3ab. I have taken only one a as a coefficient. So this a is a coefficient of 3ab. Each factor is called as the coefficient of the other factors in a term. Similarly, if I take, suppose in this expression only, 3a is the coefficient of 3a is the coefficient of ab. 3a square, if I say square, 3a square, 3a square is the coefficient of b. b is the only b. b is the coefficient of 3a square. I hope this makes sense. Okay, so far we have covered these and we have also understood what is a coefficient. Now we will try to understand like and unlike terms. What are like and unlike terms in algebra? So literals, as we have seen previously, literals are nothing but variables only in a particular term. So in a like term, the two terms are called as like terms if they have the same literals, and if the two terms are having different literals, then they are called as unlike terms. Let's see example. So I give two terms, one as 4ab and other as 2ab. This is one term, this is another term. This is having a constant here, this is also having a constant here. Now the two variables here are a and b. Here also the two variables or the literals are a and b. Now these two terms, we may not look at the constants. Now to identify whether the two terms are like terms or not, we have to look at the literals. Here this term is having literals as a and b. Here also the term is having the literals as a and b. So these two are the like terms. Now let's see, let's try to understand more. If I give example as 4ab and 2a square b. Now why we are calling it as literals, I'll try to show you here. Why we are not calling it as variables, we call it as literals only. In this, if you see in this terminology, there are two variables, a and b. In this term also, there are two variables, a and b. But if you see the literals, then it comes out to be a into b. So that's why we use the term as literals, not variable. Now if we see these two terms, 4ab and 2a square b. Here the literals are a multiplied by b, while here it is a square b, which are different. We have an exponent here. Here the degree of a is only 1. Here the degree of a is 2. So these two terms are having different literals. So these two terms are unlike terms. While these two terms, because the literals are same, the degree of the variables is also same, hence these two terms are like terms. Let's see one example. We will try to identify the like terms and the unlike terms in some given terms. Say for example, I have 11m. One term is 11m, another term is 5 by 2m, another term is say minus 6m, and then we have 5n, then we have say 10 by 3m. Now let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 terms. We have total 5 terms. In these 5 terms, we have to identify which are the like terms and which are the unlike terms. Now let's see, what is the literal here? The literal here is m. The literal here also is m. The literal here is m into n. Here it is n and here it is m. Now out of these 5, if you see, the same literals are contained by this term and this term. So these 3 terms are having the same literal, that is m. While the other 2 are having different literals. Here there is m, but along with this m there is n also. So this complete term is not having the same literals as that of this term. Hence, this and this are the like terms, while the other remainings are the unlike terms. Now we have understood what are like and unlike terms. Again, there is do it yourself for you. You can write your answer in the comment box. Here is the question. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 terms in this particular question. You have to identify the like terms. What are the like terms in this particular question? There are 5 terms. 12a square is 1. 5 by 9a square is the second. Minus 7a is the third. 9a cube is the fourth. 4ab is the fifth. So out of these 5 terms in this particular question, how many are the like terms and which are those like terms? That is what you have to write in the comment box. I'll take your answer and revert back. So friends, we have also understood what are like and unlike terms. Now for today, the last term that I'm going to cover is degree of a polynomial. So this is one more term that we are going to understand today. Now what is the degree of a polynomial called? Degree of a polynomial. Degree, as we all know, normally the exponents we call as the degree. Now let's take one example. We'll try to understand this directly with some example. Let's take an example of 3a. This is one polynomial, monomial. I have taken only one term here. Now the degree of the variable part here is a. The degree of this is 1. So the degree of this complete polynomial is 1. Now if I take as 3a square. Now this particular term is having variable is a. There is only one variable, but the degree of this variable is 2. This is also a monomial. This is a monomial. The degree of this monomial or this term is 2. So the degree of this complete polynomial is 2. Now let's try to have more variables into the term. Let's take example of 3ab. Now the degree of a is 1 here. The degree of b again here is 1. So the degree of this complete term is 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. So again, even though the degree of these two is not 2 like we had it here, it is only 1 and 1, but there are two variables here. So the degree of any term will be the addition of the degree of all variables included in that particular term. So here it is 1 and again it is 1. So the degree of this particular expression is 2. Now if I suppose take example as 3a square b. So can you tell me what will be the degree of this expression? It will be 2 of this, 2 and 1 for this, that is 1, that is 3. So 3 is the degree of this particular expression. Now here we have taken example of only monomial. We will now include, let's try to understand with more variables and more terms in a polynomial. So here for each term we can identify the degree. This is how we identify the degree. Now if I have for example 3ab plus 2a square b. This is one polynomial. This is binomial. This is having two terms. One is 3ab and one is 2a square b. Now the degree of this complete polynomial will be the highest degree of each one of the terms present in it. So that means for this term the degree is 1 plus 1, that is 2. For this the degree is 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3. The highest of this is 3. So the degree of this complete polynomial or this complete algebraic expression is 3. I hope this degree is clear to you all. So friends, in my today's session I have covered all these things. We have also completed the degree of polynomials. So today we have tried to understand most of the terms that we use in algebra. In my next session I am going to cover the evaluation of algebraic expression through substitution, and then we will also try to simplify the algebraic expressions. We will try to see how do we do the addition and subtraction in algebraic expression. In case of any questions in today's session, please put your questions in the comment box. I'll try to resolve each one of them as soon as possible. And don't forget to write your answers for the do-it-yourself questions that I had given during my session. I'll check those answers as well. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye.